What's up with you guys out here, guys and girls? First of all, how y'all feeling today? What's your mental like? You know, you in some pain. You been making some gains. Mentally, you fucked up. Mentally, you good. What's up? Share it in the comments. But anyway, today's video is going to be talking about the quality, or shall I say, the current state of quality in the cannabis industry. And I know a lot of you out there probably can't really fathom exactly what I mean, because I'm sure you probably look at it as it's the same quality as it's always been. Some people look at it as it's a crazy difference in the quality of what it used to be back in, say, their days as a kid, 90s and 80s, 50s, you know, so on and so forth, to what we have today. First and foremost, before I get into that though, let me take a little second, get a little elevated with y'all. So today, we are smoking on truffle shortbread, I think it is. Truffle shortbread. It's alright. It's cool. Cool midday smoke, nice flavor. Not like put you down or anything like that, but it's decent. But anyway, back to what we're talking about, the current quality in the industry. Right now, we are probably in the times where, notably in sense of comparisons, the worst time of quality ever. The worst and the best at the same time. And I say that because what I mean by in comparison, because back in, say, where the quality really was some shit, there weren't really any comparables. So it's not really some shit if it's the only thing. As education and knowledge and, you know, ignorance kind of went out the window, and education and things of that nature got, you know, more in depth, a lot of research that went along in places like Israel, and specific scientists outside of the US who took a liking or interest into cannabis started to put their efforts into figuring out the whys and why nots of cannabis, so to speak. So that allowed quality to skyrocket in the last, say, 10 to 20 years or so. And in this time, we made a lot of steps forward in a sense of popularity, education, and overall legality. But in the same sense, I feel as though truly we've gotten away from the true essence of cannabis and the true essence of the cannabis plant, in the sense or in relation to quality and quality experience. I feel like a lot of the things today, I know a lot of things today are driven towards certain nuances about the plant. For instance, whether it's THC or, you know, how frosted the trichomes look on it, or different extraction methods, or, you know, your hash holes, your donuts, different ways of consuming. But all in all, it should start with quality flower. If you're talking extracts, you're talking consuming straight to flower, you're talking about you know, medicinal usage, everything starts with flower. And I feel like it's been taken so far away from flower. Like, of course you have to start with flower, but the true essence and the true attention hasn't been put on flower as much as it needs to be. Like it has been in the past, where there weren't many, you know, other ways of consuming the plant, or a lot of people didn't know of other ways of consuming the plant, or even in consumption, consuming directly from the flower. Whether when I'm speaking like hashish or hash or whatever you call it, that's directly from the flower. So in those times where it's directly from the flower, the focal point is the flower. It makes more sense for it to be kind of, you know, grown correctly, so to speak, or grown with an essence or a purpose, so to speak, outside of an economical standpoint. Because when it's grown with love and care, just like anything else, you bring the true quality out of that specific plant. But yeah, you bring the quality out of that specific plant. So I know I'm probably all over the place, but if you're tracking, I appreciate you. So today we got a lot of focus on THC. THC. That's all people care about. THC numbers, percentages. What's this potency level, and how does that relate to my experience? Although more times than not, the how does that relate to my experience question doesn't really get answered. It's more so, I guess you would say, an expectation from high numbers that people believe that these high numbers are going to correlate to a good experience. And that's not how cannabis works at all. So I probably covered this in one of my videos before, the entourage effect. The entourage effect is the all-encompassing absorption of everything cannabis has to, provide, so to speak. And what I mean by that is, when you look on your label from the dispensaries, even though this is a very watered down way of looking at it, it's specific. So it makes it easier to comprehend. You look on your label from a dispensary, you'll see THC, THCA, you'll see your terpenes that are listed, you'll see your terpene percentages, you'll see your cannabinoids that are listed for some labels. Some labels and labs go a little bit more in depth than others, but more times than not, it's those big three. It's the percentage, your terpene percentage, and then your CBD. So the entourage effect is pretty much all of those three having a just due. Not necessarily all three, because most strains today, CBD is not even a factor. But let's just take it to a simplified way and looking at those three. Those three together create an entourage effect. They create a party in our endocannabinoid system that allows us to not only absorb it, but absorb it correctly and absorb it in the maximum capacity. So when you have your THC receptors, think of them like this little hole here. And a lot of weed today, in the sense of potency, it's like this big fist here. It's getting a little inappropriate. Yeah, but fuck it, y'all. This shit is already 18 and over anyway. Y'all get the point. This little hole here is your endocannabinoid system and your receptors. A lot of potency today will account for, say, a fist. This fist coming in here, boom. As you can see, it's not gonna make it through. Some will, not all. So because of this, our receptors, in a way, I know this is not 100% accurate, but this is how I understand it from what I've learned. Our receptors, in a way, try to accommodate this, but over time, you're missing the mark in a lot of different ways. This is, pretty much how you understand your tolerance, in a way. Over time, your receptors are trying to account for this, change in the abundance in which it's being given versus before, it was about that size, now it's about that size. So you're trying to get more and more. So it takes more and more to fill this hole. God damn, this shit is inappropriate. But anyway, it's needed. It's needed. Take a little more to fill that hole. Now, when you have the entourage effect, the entourage effect is like a flow. It's like, that's just how I think of it. It's like a all-encompassing flow that just slowly flows and conforms to that receptor and kind of fits like a glove perfectly. And it absorbs, it's the right amount, and it allows you to have that experience from somewhat of a placebo effect from the terpenes, the taste, and these effects that you get from these certain flavonoids and these terpenes and the THC together with the CBD, whatever ratio it is, and it just creates a perfect harmony versus trying to shove that triangle into that square block. Now, with enough force, you can fit that motherfucker in there, but it's unnatural. It's very unnatural. It can work, but it's unnatural. And it only works with some level of destruction. You kind of get where I'm going with this. So, back to the overall point. Quality comes from focusing on everything that the cannabis plant has to provide. A lot of your commercial facilities, your dispensaries, focus on this one thing, THC, and they don't even do it correctly because they try to correlate THC to yield and yield together, and along with color, and trying to manipulate color, and that takes away from the potency in a lot of ways because you're countering the efforts. It's just all in my view, it's all an effort to some bullshit. Like, you're going a long way down the wrong way. And if we truly get back to the essence of what this plant is supposed to, provide for us, then we get back to the quality. And then when we get back to the quality, we get back to the appreciation. But this all starts from education. It all starts from you as a consumer educating yourself on what is, quality and what is inequality. What is the upper echelon and what is the middle of the road, or what is the low tier? What do you enjoy and what do you not enjoy? To simplify, that's really what it is. And a lot of these strains that we have, a lot of terpenes and different things of that nature that's in the actual plant and locked inside of these trichome heads. And a lot of these motherfucking dispensary weed, or just a lot of weed today, don't even have no motherfucking heads. I ain't gonna go into that. That's for a little more experienced, or connoisseur smoker. But if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. And I know it probably frustrates you just as much when it comes to just throwing machine trim bullshit. But anyway, speaking of trimming, that's another thing too. That goes into the quality as well. How your flower is handled. How is it taken care of? Is it taken care of with some type of consideration on the end person, the end product? The end product of meaning who is going to end up, who's going to end up consuming it? Do they care about you at the end of the day? Do they take the time to hand trim and are very intricate and specific about what they're taking off and what they're leaving, and how that will, translate to your experience as the end consumer. So, but I'm not going into specifics. I'm sure this is trying to be like a wide umbrella, video. I'm not really going to go into any specifics. If y'all have any specific things that y'all want me to cover, of course, go into the comments and let me know. Hit me up on Instagram, what have you. My Instagram is always in the description in any of my videos. So if you have any questions or anything that you wanted me to specifically go into, I will do that for sure. But this video is just... But anyway, like I was speaking about quality. Let's just get back to quality. All right. So many different reasons and so many different aspects of the growing process that are obvious benefactors to quality and obvious negatives in the aspect of trying to reach quality. And a lot of that comes from what a lot of growers and commercial growers, or honestly, a lot of it is commercially, biased, or it's commercially motivated. Even at your small level growers are focused on getting the most product for the cheapest amount of inputs. And of course, just in anything in the world, obviously that leads to an inferior product. And this leads me to pricing and pricing for quality. So today we live in a world where weed is the cheapest it has ever been in history. It is at its most abundant point in history. Like, it doesn't even compare to any other time. More people today are growing than any time in history. I don't care what you say. That's not even something that you even have to really look into. Like, the fact that someone like me, someone like myself has found a passion and a love in the aspect of cultivation is enough for me to realize that it is more popular today than it has ever been in history. And a brief look at the history of cannabis can show you that. Like, you will be surprised at the amount of people in your own neighborhood and your communities that are currently, right now, growing cannabis at some degree on their own property. You'll be surprised. So today, it is the most abundant that we have had, the most abundance of cannabis that we've ever had in history. So prices are plummeting. Like, prices are literally to the floor. Like, it's below the floor. Shit is under the motherfucking hardwood. It's under concrete, dirt, damn near at the core of the earth. Like, shit is low as hell. And it's not necessarily a bad thing, but when you look at the current, knowledge gap in the cannabis industry, it's a horrible thing. Because in reality, a lot of people don't even realize that what they are consuming for the price point that they're consuming it at is, kind of the bullshit. And a lot of times they turn their face up to higher prices, not realizing the overall just difference of an experience that product will give you, the higher price product. And I understand a lot of apprehensiveness when it comes to this, because a lot of the higher price stuff today, kind of gives you the same experience as the cheaper stuff. And that is where, like I say, education will set you apart. It will make you a more knowledgeable consumer, as well as a more consistently and happy consumer, shall I say. It allows you to weave out certain things in an industry that's extremely confusing. Right now, like I said, a lot of times you will have a product that is the same as the cheaper product, but just marketed better, branded better, and you fall into this trap where now, as a person who's not educated, who's ill-informed already, has a specific experience themselves. And a lot of times in life, of course, you can be told so many different things, but if you haven't experienced yourself, that's the all and be all most times. So, and it makes sense. So because of this, you'll have situations where people will be used to a certain price point, and they'll step outside of their norm because they're trying to allow themselves this new experience, so to speak, that they've heard, A, B, and C person speak about. And they're thinking, okay, I want to partake in this. I want to see what the hype is about, so to speak. And they take their time, their hard-earned money to experience a product that they were told is going to give them a specific type of experience. And they are let down. And then at this point, for any human being, especially when you don't know the ins and outs of the industry, or how the plant works, or how indifferent and how different so many different strains are, how different a strain could be from one grower to another, how different a strain can be from one room to the next. Like, so many different variables play a role in getting this end goal product to you. It's not surprising that you will have a situation where it might not be what you expected. And that's on you as the consumer and your education level, but more so it's on the provider, on the brand or the grower, whoever. They should have told you the truth of what this product is. But also there's this little middle road where it's like, I experienced this product different than you do. I love it, you hate it. But 5 other me's love it, and 5 other yous hate it as well. So it gets very confusing in that balance. But to simplify it, when we're speaking about quality, we're talking about quality experience. For me, a quality experience is overall smokability. Number one, if I can't smoke your product, if I can't enjoy your product, if I can't light your product up, consume it, put the J out, put the blunt out for a little bit, and come back, and it hits the same as that first time, 9 times out of 10, it's not a 9 or a 10. It's somewhere in that 5 below range for me. And secondly, translation of what I was told. I love an experience that somewhat close to what I was told it was going to be. And what I mean by this, like I say, cannabis is very specific to the individual that's experiencing it. A lot of the time, certain things just don't translate to across the board. Certain people experience certain things from a flower that other people just don't experience. So, at the end of the day, of course, there's some gray area, but that's why I say close to what I was told. Because if I can get it close to what I was told in sense of flavor, translation, or potency, then it's a go. But if you're telling me that something is absolutely amazing and it's some bullshit, that's too far away, bro. Too far away. Gotta bring it a little closer that I can understand. And then third, taste, flavor, terps. Like, if I'm smoking some cardboard packs and straight up nothingness, 9 times out of 10, the other 2 things that I listed before won't meet the standard as well. And that's just what I've experienced. And I'm not saying everything has to taste all fruity and flavorful like a lot of people would assume that I mean when I'm talking about flavor, because that's what we've been provided, these last whatever amount of years in the industry. It's what has been desired, so it's what's been provided for a lot of people. But nah, I don't mean flavor in that sense. I mean flavor just overall taste of weed. Like, I feel so bad that a lot of people don't know what weed tastes like. Like weed, like I ain't talking about, because a lot of the strains we have today that are fruity and flavorful and stuff like that, they're enjoyable, but a lot of them are really, honestly, it really started from making it for extracts, not for smoking as flower. So, of course, we enjoy it today. We enjoy the creations that have came from the, flavor. Um, I'll say the flavor phase of the industry. But at the end of the day, when we're talking about effects, overall potency, we're talking about experience. 9 times out of 10, the best experience from flower to me, in the sense of potency, um, smokability, consistency, consistently getting me high, has been from strains that aren't fruity and flavorful, in the sense of, these dessert strains that everybody loves today. Um, I can't explain to you what weed tastes like, but weed tastes like weed. Good weed, like, oh my God, good weed, some good ass motherfucking OG or some shit like that. Mm, fucking amazing. Fucking amazing. And of course, today, we have some amazing growers, some amazing experienced breeders who have allowed themselves to mix and match the nuances of today and yesterday. And we have a lot of strains today that, hit the marks on a lot of those different categories, in the sense of experience. But overall, it's just a lot of flavorful, fruity ass, hollow ass nothingness. That ain't gonna get you high. You feel like you wasted your money. When I'm speaking about the upper echelon quality cannabis, that's not what I'm talking about. Some of them are. Like, I got, I, I'll definitely say, like I said before, we have the best cannabis we ever had in history. But more times than not, because the industry is so new, so many newcomers, so many people who frowned upon the plant and frowned upon consumers for so many years, now that it's cool, they're like, oh, let's get into it. Like, I want to live my true self, because this is really what I wanted to do all along, but I couldn't be myself because of how others might have viewed me. And I don't get into that, but be yourself, people. through any situation in life, be yourself. Like, one thing I can say about, I'm not a condoner of gang culture or anything like that, but one thing I do respect, a motherfucker that lived that life, that is outnumbered in the situation and still stands on who they are. And I wish more people would violently be themselves like that, like straight stand on themselves. Even if you just a person who loves, like, cats. You love cats so much that you see a cat and you can't even, control yourself. You just want to take a picture. Fuck it. That's you. Stand on that. That's who you are. You haven't been made this way for no reason. You are this person. Like, that's who you are. So be the best you that you can be. Like, on some, like, really stereotypical shit, but for real, be the best you can be. Even as a grower, be the best you can be. Because truly, that's the only way that we bring quality back to the threshold where it's like, that's what it is. Quality is quality. The bullshit is the bullshit. And then a lot of times you'll be able to fall into the understanding of why you'll see these situations where people feel the way they feel about their quality cannabis. Like, these growers out here that's really producing fire, the reason they feel the way that they feel because they're indifferent to what's the norm. Ain't too many people out here that's able to provide you that true fire. Especially if you're on the East Coast. There's so much bullshit out here, man. So much bullshit. Like, you can go out here and spend today $40, 30, $40 and get you an ounce. It'll last you, but it'd be the worst $40 you ever spent on some cannabis in your life, because it'd be some straight bullshit. Like, oh my God, it'd be absolutely bullshit. Straight bonkers how bad this should be. But yeah, quality is quality. I mean, at the end of the day, quality is when reigning supreme. Like, when you have some quality cannabis, I promise you, that experience that you smoke something and you like, I gotta get more. Even if you broke, you like, bro, please keep some around for me. Like, for those out there that experience that, you know that damn near. It's not priceless, of course, because we're going to be realistic. Motherfuckers ain't paying too much for no fucking weed. But if a motherfucker come and tell you, hey, I want $300 for this ounce, and you telling me it was some shit that you know you don't have around and you have to appreciate as a person who appreciates some quality, $300 is great. Honestly, it's the most I would pay for an ounce of weed. 300 to say 400. If it's some really that $400, I'll pay that shit. But anything above that, them $1,000 motherfucking ounces and shit like that, brother, you can go ahead and hey, you know what you could do. I keep it a little cordial. You know what you can do, brother. Shit, $1,000 for a motherfucking what? Niggas out here paying some people in the South rent, people in the country rent for an ounce of fucking flower. Damn. But hey, it is art. I ain't a nigga that be out here buying Picassos and shit, so you catch my drift. But yeah, quality though, for real, truly quality is something that stands alone, and it starts from education. For you to be able to even appreciate quality cannabis, for you to be able to hold some quality flower in your hands, some fire, and be able to just see it for what it is and know that this is some fucking fire. Like it's okay to understand that some good weed is still cool. Like this is some good weed. Like I'm not gonna hold you, it's some good weed, but it's not like no fire. Not gonna lie. And that's fine. Like I enjoy cannabis. I enjoy the plant. I enjoy everything that it has to offer me. So I'm not just stuck on one thing. I enjoy the plant, but I also enjoy a quality experience. And quality doesn't mean the most potent flower that I can find. Like that's not what quality means to me. Quality is so much more. Quality is clean. Quality is a breath of fresh air, damn near. Like literally, that's how it feels hitting some quality ass flower, like a breath of fresh fucking oxygen. And to have that quality experience, so many different things play a role into that, and to be able to understand that it's not easy to consistently produce that fire, that quality, that top grade A. That's not easy. So when you have the ability to have that in your hands and be the consumer of that product, appreciate it. Really appreciate it. Just like somebody appreciating a beautiful painting, or somebody appreciating just any type of quality experience, a beautiful quality experience. Appreciate it, because it's not something that just is around all the time, especially today. Today we have so much weed. You're gonna be given some bullshit 5 times before you're given some fire the 6th time, and then you're gonna have to go through that cycle again and again and again and again and again before you are back to the time where you get some more fire. It's just the truth. Unless you find somebody, the quality grower, small batch, more times than not, your small batch producers who are able to meet the mark to an extent every time. Like we're talking about 90s and above on a scale of 1 to 100. Like, but producing that 100 every single time, come on now, it's not realistic. It's not realistic. But 90, producing that 85 every time, shit, that shit realistic. So fuck with people who can give you that 85 pack, that 90 pack, that 100 pack, and appreciate those opportunities to consume that. Appreciate your growers, appreciate your middlemen as well. The people your true middlemen who can find that quality and know what quality is and can bring that to you as a consumer, and allow you to not have to worry about wasting your money on 3, 4, 5 eighths before you spend, your money on some quality stuff. And a lot of times you won't even make it to that point, because you'll just say, you know what, this is all that's out here. I'll just go ahead and, say fuck it, or I'll just live my life in this place, and I'll get comfortable at spending $15 to $25 for an eighth, and think that that's the experience that, I want for myself. And then you realize, like, oh, I can go spend a little bit more, spend $40 to $50 for an eighth. And I'll probably have that a little bit longer, because I'll be able to appreciate each time that I use it. Each time that I use it, I won't be sitting there and like, damn, I'm disappointed, and sitting there in a place where I'm almost trying to chase a high. Like, I at this point, like, fuck it, I'm gonna smoke as much of this until I get high. And that's just a waste of money and time and experience and bullshit on your body to me, because then, you can bring in a lot of other things that probably is the reason why that cannabis is some bullshit. But that's not for this video. We're gonna get, like I said, we're gonna get into the depth and some other shit if y'all want me to. Got some questions. Feel free. Comment, hit me on Instagram, DM me, check out what I got going on Instagram, of course. Got some fire brewing for sure. Got some super flavor. Got, everything that the cannabis community can desire. We got some shit coming. We got some popping shit for real. Black Flow is like, again, Black Flow is my brand. Black Flow is our brand. Black Flow is the brand. Black Flow is who we are. Blacks for the Love of Weed, a cannabis company. We'll be officially launching later this year. We're doing a soft launch this summer. In September actually, for the DMV area. Stay tuned. Lock in on my Instagram for all the information. We'll be doing giveaways. We'll be doing some dashes. Some stash and dashes. We'll be doing a lot of things, and also just trying to get the aspect of community popular in the DMV area. Overall, that's my overall goal, is get that as a popular thing, and try to find community through cannabis in that way. Because at the end of the day, I've met some of the best people, or I've met the best people in my life through cannabis. I've been able to sustain a lot of my best relationships through cannabis. I've been able to experience life, in my opinion, the way in which I've been able to experience through cannabis. And I just look at cannabis as a vector. I look at cannabis as so many different things, but in one way, I look at it as a vector for community, a vector for relationships. So if you're interested in any of those things, lock in on my Instagram, Blackflow, BLKFLOW, Blacks for the Love of Weed. Stay tuned, got a lot coming. And I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed my rambling. I hope you enjoyed being here. Shit, I hope you, did what I did, lit you some fire ass cannabis or some good ass weed, and just enjoy it. Because I know it's a lot of people out there that a lot of the things that I'm saying or I've said in my videos, y'all think the same exact things, or you're excited to hear certain things because you didn't know them before, or you might have known them or not known them in the capacity in which I've spoken about them, what have you. I just hope that something that I've said today allows you to have a moment of aha and take a deep dive into truly educating yourself a little bit more on something that you are obviously enjoy. If you hear, you obviously enjoy it. So if you enjoy it more than food, because a lot of people don't even realize that, like, people care about cannabis and what's in cannabis more than they care about their own food. And it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing, but it's kind of weird. I ain't gonna lie, but it's a beautiful thing, because you should take that same type of effort into everything in life. Ask questions. Ask as many questions as you can. Keep asking questions. Keep learning, because we're on this earth at the end of the day in a non-stop tunnel of information, and more now than any other time in history. This information just readily available, always here. So allow yourself to be a part of that. Allow yourself to educate yourself, because it makes things so much more fun, I promise you. If you allow yourself to educate yourself in cannabis, you'll experience cannabis in a totally different way than you have ever had before. But anyway, I'm done rapping. I'm done writing my little verbal synopsis. Hope y'all enjoyed this video, man. Got another one dropping soon. Stay tuned. If you have any information, I have any requests for information, let me know. I'll try to make sure I cover it in any video, or I'll do a whole video about it just for you. Let me know. Because I enjoy doing this. I enjoy talking about anything when it comes to cannabis. It's truly my passion, truly my love. So yeah, lock in with me. Hope y'all have a good ass day, man, and stay true to yourself. Stay true to yourself and stay true to quality, because quality at the end of the day is unfucking defeated.